Okay, interesting question from Nino about a training partner issue. So here's what he says. He says that recently he had a training partner move away from the gym that he's at. Now, this training partner was not just your average training partner. This training partner was his best friend as far as training goes. They were like attached at the hip all the time, training together. They both fed on one another. His training partner was a little bit better than him, and so it kind of kept him chasing him to try to get better. They would talk about each other's games and dissect things and try to figure out how to improve. He said the guy was super instrumental and even was a big reason why he didn't quit as a white belt. He says that they even moved to a new gym together, and then now it's been a situation where this person has moved away, and now Nino is left at the gym by himself, and he's not really sure what to do because he says, one, at this gym, he doesn't have that same connection to someone that he did like that one training partner. And he says that he feels like he's lacking a key piece of inspiration that he's had for years, and he doesn't know how to continue forward without it. And he's just wondering if I have any advice on it. He says that he'd like to bring it up to his coach, but he doesn't want to sound like a crazy person. And he ends the message with, sorry if this is long-winded. So Nino, thanks for the question, bro. And long-winded is what we do around here, right? I tend to be a bit verbose, so it's okay. But to answer your question, to get into it, this has happened to me before. This has happened to many of my students, and it's something that's going to happen. You will have these people come into your training. It works this way in life too, right? There will be people that will come across in your life, but we're going to keep it with training. But they'll come across you, and they will sort of spark some inspiration in you, spark some motivation. They spark something in you that helps you raise to a new level. Sometimes these are training partners. Sometimes they're coaches. Sometimes it's like, bearded assholes talking to you through a camera on YouTube, right? But nonetheless, you'll come across these people that sort of inspire you or help you raise to a new level. But at some point, your connection, your time with them tends to come to an end. Nothing is forever, right? We understand this, but then when those things happen, it's not fun. And it almost looks like there's a common story arc in movies that you'll see, which this kind of resembles, where if you watch a lot of movies, that you'll have the sort of training partner or like mentor figure that comes across to meet the character, and then eventually the mentor figure, dies or has to leave or whatever, and then that character, that the main character of the movie, has to stand on their own 2 feet and continue forward, right? That's a very common theme, and you see this in books, you see this in movies. I mean, it's a very common like story arc that's been used, and I think it's there for a reason because that's something we all go through, right? We all have these people that help get us up to a certain point, but it's at a certain point that we realize that we were the reason that those things were happening. And this sort of gets me to something about jiu-jitsu. A lot of times, like when I go to camps, like I was at the immersion camp last week or 2 weeks ago and was, meeting everybody and stuff like that. And when people come to my seminars or my gym or whatever else, a lot of times people will come up to me and say, Chewy, I want to thank you. You're the reason I'm here. You're the reason why I'm training jiu-jitsu. Or sometimes they'll show me their belts and they'll say, you're the reason why I earned this, like a blue belt or a purple belt. And I've even had people say, Chewy, you're the reason why I'm here today. Like, you're the reason why I'm alive, because I started training because my wife passed away and I was going through all this stuff and whatever else. And they tell me these stories and they'll say, but I found your videos and I started training. And I have to tell all of these people, no. I didn't do that. You did that. Maybe I helped a little bit. Maybe I was like the proverbial character in the movie that maybe gave you the little spot of inspiration or motivation or some useful idea that was helpful to you in that period. But you did it. You did the work, not me. And the reason why I think that's so important is because of the situation that you're going through. It's important. Like, if you learn nothing through jiu-jitsu, learn this, right? There's so much more in us than we think there is. We're so much more capable than we even know if we do the work that we're supposed to do, right? If we put ourselves out there, if we go through the different trials and the different things that we have a deep desire to go through, if we do those things, we become a stronger person, a more capable person. And sometimes it's so radically different than anything that we thought was possible, right? When I look back and sort of think of who I am and some of the things that I've done, and I think about who I was when I was, say, 14 years old and 15 years old when I first started wrestling, bro, I can't imagine the person that I am today. It just doesn't even make sense. Like, it's so crazy to think about, right? And because, the person that I am here has been created. Like, this person that I am, it's someone I've had to build over the years. Just like you're building yourself in the future by the actions you take now. Now, going back to it, your training partner left. And you're going to have this happen multiple times where training partners come and go. It's going to happen. But ultimately, you have to understand, you're the one that did the work. You're the reason why you got better. Not that training partner. They were helpful, but they weren't the reason why. You'll have coaches that will be super helpful. And sometimes coaches and your training partners will make a massive difference. But if you don't do the work, it doesn't matter. It's the same reason why I don't have the ability to sprinkle fairy dust around and get everybody to train. I mean, if I had that power, bro, I'd be going around everywhere. I'd be like just sprinkling the stuff everywhere and everybody would train, because I love training and I think that it's a really cool thing. So I would do that, so I don't have that power. And that's why I tell people, like, listen, I didn't do this. You did this. Take pride in that power. Take pride in the ability that you have to change your life and do something for the better, right? And so going back to you, your training partner, the guy that was your inspiration, they're gone. They didn't make you better at jiu-jitsu. They helped you. They provided a catalyst. They provided a little boost of motivation when you needed, but they weren't the reason. And you have to understand, don't put that power onto them. Put that power onto yourself. You can work through this. You will find other training partners that will be really useful to you. You will find your coaches, communicate with them, and you can grow a great relationship with them, and they'll become the motivation. It can happen in other different places. It doesn't have to be that one person. That one person doesn't have that magical ability. They were just really useful in that time period, and it's the way that it is. And again, like I said, I've had mentors come and go, and so this is why I share that with you. Because you don't want to have that person leave at some point. Maybe you find another person that's very inspirational to you, and then they leave, and then you feel like you can't keep going. That's the power you have in yourself. So anyway, I'm starting to repeat myself. I'm starting to ramble, so we'll finish this video up. Hopefully that helps you, Nino. Thanks so much for the question. And guys, I'll talk to you next time.